how would you rate this collection, this box of shitters? Would you? Well, actually, I don't know. Give me your honest opinion.
I mean, it's an all right collection. It's not something where I would go like, if I were just looking at someone's collection where I would kind of stop to examine each one. It's just like a bunch of just like
Random, random.
yeah.
Shit.
I wouldn't say random. It's kind of like it's like if you took like each watch of the moment, from
Yeah.
yeah, that it's a collection of watches of the moment. That's it. All it's missing is like,
ooh, that hurts. Ooh, repeat that again. Repeat that again. So we stick the knife in.
it's a collection of watches of the moment. The only thing it's missing is a Royal Oak.
Well, no, this is not a high end collection. This is kind of like a mid level collection. This is not at that level. I mean, this is kind of like, yeah, watch. It's interesting. Yeah, I think Archie basically, I think what he does is he collects stuff that's like, he's like 10 years behind, like whatever was the watch of the moment, 5 years later or 7 years later, prices drop. That's when he picks it up.
Okay, so when I look at the collection, right, it's not. I wouldn't describe this as someone that has a collection of watches. It's someone that has watches, right?
Yeah, it's an accumulation. It's an accumulation of just random shit, like whatever. Like, oh, I got a GMT Rolex, Bliss. I got an Omega. How would you rank the Omega Speedmaster? Is that the mark of a peasant? I mean, if you see somebody wearing a Omega, would you just spit at them or throw your shoe at them? Welcome back, watch fans. We have an amazing show for you today. We are reviewing the Archie luxury watch collection. Unbelievable, but true. That's right, unbelievable but true. We're reviewing the collection of the Bogan of Brisbane. The grifter, the mega grifter. And what we're going to learn in this collection is really what not to do, how you can learn from these horrific mistakes. That's right. We're going to learn from Archie's horrific mistakes. But first, look, let's give Archie some credit. I mean, he was one of the first guys to do the YouTube channels with the watches, and it was good. But a lot of times, the pioneers doesn't mean that they actually have the correct product. It's Henry Ford was not the guy to make the first car. I mean, there was other guys who tried to make cars. There was other guys who tried to make planes. But then the Wright brothers finally figured it out, right? So basically, look, Archie's kind of a pioneer, grifter, scammer with his fake watch robberies, insurance fraud, alleged, scamming people for super chats. But let's look at the watch collection. Enough of, because it's not about the person. But look, looking at this collection, you can see basically this guy's taste level and why you should never take advice from this low-life degenerate. That's right. Unbelievable. But make sure, by the way, if you don't want to end up like Archie, you don't want to make mistakes like this, make sure you get a free watch market newsletter. Click the link in the video description below to get a free watch market newsletter. That's right. Or go to the website, which is watchreporter.com. That's right, the Watch Reporter channel. Unbelievable but true. So let's start off with this. So we got what do we got here? The first mistake is you have redundancies. In other words, you got multiple examples of the same watch that you kind of don't need. Look at this. You have 3 chronographs. You got at the top, we got the JLC in rose gold. Not a bad looking watch, actually. I mean, it's kind of like you're getting a lot for the money, which you see at the top left corner. It's a chronograph, rose gold. It's a big watch. It's like 43 millimeters. It looks gigantic on the wrist. I think they're like 9 or 10 grand. So it actually looks pretty impressive. And I'm a fan of JLC. It's actually not a bad watch if you can pull it off. Honestly, it's not. But how many chronographs do you need, right? Like, what is this guy timing? What is he timing? What is he timing? This guy's a fat walrus. He's a hungry hippo. I mean, the guy's like a giant overfed hippo. What does he need to time? He's not doing any sports. He's not doing. What is he doing? I mean, he doesn't need to time anything. He doesn't go diving, except for diving into a buffet bar, a buffet restaurant lunch, or some bullshit. So he does not need a chronograph. Now you got another Zenith chronograph at the bottom, which is kind of, look, if you're going to have one chronograph, it's fine. And it's actually not a bad example. I mean, look, the problem is the Zenith, so it's a bit of a compromise. JLC you can claim is a compromise, and it kind of is because, look, it's a gold watch, but it's a sport. Yeah, so where does it really fit exactly, right? But value-wise, it's not bad. I mean, again, if you want a big watch has legitimate brand, legitimate quality, that's JLC. The Zenith, like, I don't know, why do you need another chronograph? Now, the worst offender is he's got the basic bitch Omega Speedmaster at the bottom. Now, again, that is the watch. I mean, that's the mark of all peasants. I mean, that's the ultimate peasant watch. Absolute trash. Now, I did a video the other day. I don't mind Omega speed. If you're getting it vintage, you're getting something pre-2005, you're getting like, especially with the moon phase. If you got moon phase and if you got some precious metal in there, maybe you got a day and date, and you can get that for $3,000. It's a great deal. Again, the Omega should only be bought for under $3,000 with the moon phase. You got to have the moon phase, and you want maybe some gold in there. Now let's look at the shitters. Some of the nastiest and vicious shitters in this box. You got this Panerai. Now, the Panerai, I never understood the whole Panerai thing when it came out. I remember seeing people wearing this 20 years ago. The dumbest watch ever made. It's just a revival brand. And so the story is it was a dive watch for the Italian Navy during World War II, right? So, which is, I don't know, I guess, I mean, they were obviously on the wrong side. I mean, that was Mussolini, but whatever. We're not going to mention that. And now the Italian Navy, if you're going to talk about navies, the Italian Navy is kind of like a bit of a joke. Now, again, listen, I mean, I love the country of Italy. I love Italians. I mean, from Italy, not the Italian Americans. I'm just kidding. But no, listen, mi dispiace, but the Italian Navy is a joke. I mean, the Italian military is a bit of a joke, right? I mean, they haven't won any real wars since, I don't know, since Caesar. I don't know, 1,800 years? I mean, I don't know. It's been a couple thousand years since the Italian Navy was formidable. So it's a watch made for I mean, what are the for Navy divers, the Italian Navy, what are they looking for? Their own boats that got sunk? I mean, that's kind of the old joke, right? Why does the Italian Navy have glass bottoms on its boats so they could see the old Italian, whatever, the old Italian Navy, whatever, you get the joke, right? Dumbest watch ever. And it's on a leather strap, so it's a dive watch in theory. I'm sorry, I don't understand it. I really don't get it. It's a big, ugly, stupid watch. When they first came out, I think like Sylvester Stallone, some guy scammed Sylvester Stallone. That's the real story. So Sylvester Stallone really doesn't know too much about anything, but he is Italian. I mean, well, he's Italian American, right? And most Italian Americans, they don't even speak Italian, but they don't non parliamo per italiano, no la bella lingua. No, they don't speak Italian, but they all they corrupt the language with the corrupted Americanized Italian, they make bad pizza. They don't even make the proper pizza napoletan. I mean, it's a disgrace, right? With the proper wood burning. They don't do that. It's like raised pizza. I mean, the raised pizza is a disgrace to all of Italy in New York. But anyway, let's talk about the problem with this, right? So Sylvester Stallone, he doesn't know anything, right? And some guy scammed him in the early 2000s or late 90s. He said, "Hey, Sly, you got to wear this watch. Yeah, you're Italian, right? Yeah, put on this Panerai. This is, if you were real Italian, you got to put this on, right? It's made for the Italian Navy. Hey, forget about it." Now, here's the problem. It's a fake brand. It is made. I don't even know. I don't think this watch is even made. Where is this watch made? It's probably made in China. It's a Fugazi brand. You know what a Fugazi is? Google it. You know what a Bukiak is? Google it. So this is a Fugazi Bukiak watch. That's right. It's a giant watch, and he wore because, he's kind of a big guy, or he wants to be a big guy. He wants to be like a big macho guy, right? Weightlift, working out, big muscle. That was his look, right? That's his look. He likes that very over the top. That's his look. And it works for him. And he was wearing these large, oversized watches. That watch, and by the way, Panerai screwed him over. They didn't give him a nickel. Slide got nothing from Panerai. He actually dumped all his Panerai watches. Because he was disgusted. Let's say it's a skiffooze. Panerai is a skiffooze. You know what a skiffooze is? Google it. Panerai is a skiffooze. They screwed him over. They used slide stone. They gave him nothing. They gave him zero. Ungats. That's what they got. They got ungats. You know what ungats is? Google it. Ask Kino and Juan in Miami, the cockroach breeder, hubcap thieves in Miami. Kino and Juan. They're probably watching this right now. So Panerai's disgrace. It's it's for the real cavon. You know what a cavon is? Not a gavon, but a cavon. That's what it is. So, okay, pass on that. It's a hard pass. It's a peasant watch. Now, he's got, again, multiples of everything. He's got 2 sex tourist watches. That's right. We're talking none other than, and in the wrong metal. He's got, what has he got? The Patek World Time, which is at the top right there, right above the zenith. You see the World Time? And it's actually not a bad watch, but you got to get in the right metal. It's got to be in rose gold. If you're going to get this watch for 20 grand, I like the way the hands look. It's kind of useless. It really is kind of a redundant watch. It's really, you need a dual time. You don't need
nice, but it's just not my taste.
So he's showing you his garbage watches. I'm sorry, it was a little bit out of focus. There we go. Let's look at this trash. Let's look at this basura. This is a box of shit. Now here's the irony. This is like an $8,000 box. This Louis Vuitton vintage box. He's got his initials on it. I think he got it as a gift from one of his people that he scammed. Probably from Patek Philippe. He's got this guy Patek Philippe, who's we talked about Patek Philippe. What is that all about? Why is this grown ass man, Patek Philippe, aka his real name Tanzil Ansari of Canada? Why is he sending Archie Luxury, another fat, old, grown, busted down man? Why is he sending this guy money? He's giving Archie thousands of dollars. We answer the question because it's like an Indian thing, right? Like if you know Indians, right? The Indians, they feel they've only made it in life if they have a Britisher, as they say, working for them, right? Because of the whole colonial thing. So it's kind of like they got to have a Britisher working for them. Now Archie's actually Australian, which is like the third rate. Australia is kind of like the third rate. That's like basically the people that it was the garbage of Britain that was sent to Australia. It's the absolute trash. Nothing ever good comes out of Australia. The only good product they make is R.M. Williams boots. That's all they make. That's good. Everything else is garbage. The whole country, it should be just made into a slave labor camp for the Chinese to make iPads. But what happens is Patek Philippe, he gives, he feels like having Archie work for him, so he makes him feel like a real sahib, right? So he calls his mom and says, they own a couple of 7-Elevens and some Motel 6s in Canada, and he calls his parents and says, Mom and Dad, you would not believe this. I have a real Britisher working for me, Archie Luxury. That's right, a famous Britisher on YouTube. He's a real celebrity, and he's working for me. I am a real sahib now. I am the real sahib. So that's what happens with Patek Philippe. So that's why he's giving this guy money. It's a grift. But anyway, let's look at these garbage watches. So he's got 2 sex tourist watches, which is again the Patek World Time. Why wear that watch? It's only if you need to know. I would disagree. I would disagree. Has anything good ever come out of Australia besides R.M. Williams boots? Name one thing. And they're all inbred with the kangaroos. That's right. They all have kangaroo DNA. They're all, because their ancestors have all bred with those kangaroos. The one good thing is they could probably hop. A lot of the Australians, they can jump like a basketball player. It's unbelievable. Wrong. The wine is garbage. What is that? Penfolds or whatever? Absolute trash wine. I mean, it's like that bullshit sweet California. I mean, what do you know? I mean, you got a shitter watch. What is that? A fucking garbage Daytona that you're flexing there? I mean, come on, it's a garbage. No, listen, Australia makes shitter wines, overpriced. If you want those shitter wines, you might as well drink like Chilean wines. I mean, Spain gives you good value. Spain, nice earthy wines come from Spain. That's right. Who's more pathetic, Archie or Tim Wright, aka Artem Pizdets Huybret? That's his real name. By the way, Tim Wright is going to be deported by Trump January 21st. Deportation is nigh. That's right. Deportation is nigh. Yeah, I mean, they both have shitter watch collections. Actually, like I actually give Tim a little more credit because he's what did he? I think he had a, what is it? Not the Gronfeld, Morris Grossman or some bullshit, which is at least doing something interesting. I mean, I think Tim has got a slightly better taste, a little more disciplined than Archie. I mean, this is all just again, the whole point of having a Patek Philippe World Time is if you're a sex tourist, you got to know the time in Manila and Bangkok whilst you're in I don't know, London or Toronto. So if you're like a pedo or a sex tourist, you want to go for ladyboy tours, and that's what you have, because on that watch you can see the time zones in all the different third world countries like Romania. If you got some cam girls you're following in Romania or Manila, cam boys, whatever you're into, that's the watch that lets you do it. Now, again, if you're going to get that watch, you got to have it in yellow gold or rose gold, not white gold. Archie, again, wrong metal for the watch. Now, let's look at the horror, the box of horrors. Now, it's going to get worse. He's got another GMT, which is the low-budget sex tourist watch. That's the one at the bottom right. That's the white Rolex Explorer 2. The Rolex Explorer 2, which is kind of a low-budget. And no, I'm sorry. If you drink that watch, excuse me, you drink that wine, it's going to make you hop, basically. That's right. You drink that wine, all of a sudden, you're going to start hopping like a kangaroo. No, really. I mean, Australia, I mean, it's okay. I mean, the wine is like a California wine, basically. It's kind of overrated. I mean, it's a shithole country. I mean, you got no taste, basically. That's I mean, what you're telling me, Mike, is, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm sure you're a nice guy. I mean, whatever. But, I mean, you're wearing a Daytona, right, which is like a basic bitch watch. What is that, a platinum Daytona? It's a platinum Daytona. So, I mean, that's even more pathetic. That's more pathetic. You know what's more pathetic, Mike, is your platinum Daytona, which is a basic bitch watch. But again, platinum is a shitter metal. If you're going to get a Daytona precious metal, you get the white gold with a blue dial. That's right. You get the white gold with the sunburst blue dial. Or possibly, it's a little bit late in the game, but, the green dial that what do they call it? I hate using the word John Mayer, but yeah, but the green dial is actually okay. That's the proper look for the Daytona, not what this guy has. You see that? I just want to I just want to bring shame on this guy's family with that shitter platinum. It's probably not even his watch. It's probably like some, I don't know, some bullshit. Hang on a second. Let me just pull this up. Let me just pull up the proper Daytona. Again, if you're going to get a Daytona, I mean, shit. I mean, it's like the ultimate peasant watch. What are you, a racer, a car racer? I mean, you're not wearing a Daytona for anything. I think if you're going to get a two-tone Daytona, it's actually not bad. Not bad with a black dial. It's a little bit obnoxious. But kind of cool. Now, look, if you're going to get a Daytona, the only one that's actually worth buying right now is this right here, my friends. That's right. This right here. Right here. There you go. There you go. Mike, you're a peasant. No, I mean, you're trash. I mean, yeah, you're garbage. You're garbage. Your family's garbage. I mean, you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to your country, to your family, to your religion, to Rolex, to the planet, to humanity, to kangaroos. So yeah, this is actually not a bad watch because I'll tell you what I like about the white gold blue dial. The sunburst blue dial is actually really nice. This is a horrible picture. And how much should you pay for this watch? Wow, these are horrible pictures. What happened? Did this watch get melted? I don't even know what happened there. But these are basically $30,000 watches. It's not bad. Look at it. You got a little bit of red in there. Mike, don't make me come over and smack you across the lips with my cock. Don't make me cock slap you across the lips, across the mouth. You fucking peasant. You got peasants watching this channel. Now, this is the proper watch. I mean, don't be a peasant like Mike Lewis. If you're going to get a Daytona and you want to have something precious metal, the guy is buying platinum because he wants to flex. Bad move. The white gold blue dial is the way to go. The white gold blue dial is the way to go. Look, we know some people who had that. We had our good friend Bruce Lee in Hong Kong had what you have, Mike, and it was the very disappointing for him because I think he bought it because he always needed to have a Daytona in the collection for whatever reason. I don't know. But that brown bezel always bothered him. The chocolate bezel. It doesn't bother me that much, but I don't like ceramic. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. He ended up selling it or trading it in for a tiger. So precious gold with us, gem set, all that stuff. But that's there you go. Are you talking about your mom, Mike? Are you talking about your mom? Bring her on the panel here. All right. Anyway, so this is the way to go because again, if you're going to go precious metal, low key, stealth wealth, as the kids call it, white gold, blue sunburst dial, beautiful watch. All the bukyaks are going to think it's a stainless steel watch. Only you will know. Look at the red. I'm almost tempted to buy this. The problem is, I really have a thing against chronographs, but I think this is beautifully executed. The serifs, the fonts are nice. Look at these beautiful Euro style font, extended Euro style font. It's nice. I mean, a little bit too much typography here. We got 5 lines of type. You got 5 lines of type. They got to tell you like everything here. They got to tell you the whole biography. Cool watch. I think it's very cool. Look at this sunburst. I mean, you tell me that's not beautiful. You tell me that's not beautiful. Now that's a proper watch. That's the watch that Archie Luxury should have gotten. That's the watch that Mike Lewis should have gotten. But Mike Lewis is a lowlife. He's lowlife trash. He's a peasant. Anyway, speaking of peasants, back to Archie Luxury. So he's got the Sex Tourist watch. That's the Rolex Explorer 2 white dial. What high end do you have in your collection? Well, I have a video on my channel. I have a bunch of watches. I mean, they're all better than yours, frankly. I mean, they may not be as expensive. Well, actually, no, they might be. I have no idea. I have a Patek 3940G perpetual calendar. Okay, full set. You know what that is, Mike? 3940G, the top G, white gold perpetual calendar. What else we have? What else we have in the collection? We have that's really the highest end watch I have, frankly. That's a classic. Then we got after that it drops off. We got a Patek Travel Time, yellow gold. We have a couple of Patek dress watches from the 60s, vintage pieces. We have the Audemars Piguet Owl. That's the day date moon phase in 2-tone, which is, again, not super high. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it high end. No, I think the real watch, the only real watch I have is the 3940G, the top G. Everything else from that, I mean, that's real horology. That's like the real deal. That's like the best watch ever made. So, I mean, look, again, not because I have it. And if I were to get it again, I probably would get it in rose gold because I got it in white gold. It's a little more stealthy, low key. Yeah, I'm not a flashy guy like you, but I think again, and I've done videos. The Patek Philippe 3940 perpetual calendar was the best watch ever made by Patek Philippe, and that's why Thierry Stern's father, Philippe Stern, wore that watch every day. The Master 40 is actually, I'm actually wearing it right now. It's actually not bad. It's not bad. Not bad. You have 2 Pateks in your... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You probably have some shitters. You probably have a Nautilus. I know you got a Nautilus. Mike, I know you're a low life, or you got an Aquanaut. I know you're like a low life trash that has an Aquanaut or a Nautilus. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm willing to bet that you have a Nautilus or an Aquanaut. You're not a classy guy. I mean, you're like a low class Archie luxury type. Exactly. If you don't have a okay. So let's talk about the Rolex Explorer Polar. I think they call it the Polar Explorer. You know what? It's not a bad watch, to be honest. And it comes in 42 millimeter. Now they made an older one. The original was like 40 millimeter. It's kind of interesting. Here's the problem with this watch. Nobody knows it's a Rolex. It doesn't look like a Rolex, right? So when you're at that strip club and whatever, or you're at that club in Miami and you're trying to pick up these gutter snipe horrors, with the champagne bottles, they don't know what that watch is. They don't know what that is. What is it? Nobody knows what that watch is. That's the problem. So it's kind of like the only people who know what that watch is some watch nerds. But it's the only legitimate. I think that GMT is the only legitimate Rolex GMT for like what do you call it, it's kind of like, I know a lot of military guys had them, whatever. But I think that's actually the one to get. If you're like a guy in the military, you want to have that Rolex GMT thing, you're going to get that. The only problem is, again, if you get shot down over Vietnam, you got to buy your way out, whatever, or whatever. They're not going to know what that is, so you can't. It's not going to fill the use. So basically, that watch is a disaster. 5205. What is that? Hang on a second. I don't know these numbers. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm not sophisticated. What is that? Patek 5205. Oh, fucking garbage. No, I knew this guy was no good. Mike, I knew from the moment I laid eyes, I knew you were no good. No, seriously, this watch is absolute trash, fucking garbage. Windows, annual calendar. That's not even a real watch. It's an annual calendar. That's a compromise. Annual calendar is for brokesters. It's for like guys like Archie Luxury and JJ Bukiak. You know what a Bukiak is? Mike, you know what a Bukiak is? Google it. JJ is a Bukiak. This is what he's got. He's got the 5205, I think, or I think he had one. I don't know. It's a compromise watch. It's kind of the modern Patek. Here's my issue with this watch. Here's the issue I have with this watch. First of all, I hate these fucking window dials. These with the windows, aperture, whatever you want to call it. It's garbage. Also, it's got a 24-hour. Why do you need a 24-hour indicator at the bottom? That's a mistake. Originally, you had a date wheel. That was a date wheel, the days of the month. But the I don't know why you don't need a 24-hour. You don't need it. You got the stupid fucking apertures, garbage. And the only thing I like about it is you have the nice hands, dolphin hands. I like that. The seconds, totally worthless. The dial is actually a nice design if it wasn't for this purpose. It's a clean design. It's actually like my dual time. My dual time is kind of the same design, except I have lugs on lug crown guards. Excuse me, crown guards. The case is nice. The problem is, otherwise, it's a trash watch. What's the 5235? It's probably another piece of garbage. Oh fuck! I knew this guy. I knew this guy was up to no good. I knew this guy Mike has no taste. I mean, seriously, this is a fucking trash watch. Look at this. Look at this fucking garbage. I mean, Mike is a disgrace to his family. Yeah, green. By the way, green dial and rose gold, I think is an amazing combination. Actually, yellow gold and green dial, I think, is better. I have an issue with Patek's rose gold because I had their 5396R. That's the annual calendar. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I bought the annual calendar. That's the blue dial, 5396, with the baguette diamond markers. I thought it was kind of a cool watch. The problem was it was too big. And again, I had a problem with that 24-hour indicator. it bothered me, and the apertures bothered me. The only reason I bought it was because I thought the Breguet diamond markers on the face would be cool, and I ended up trading it in for for the 3940. I got very lucky. I did a direct trade, and so I traded into something better. Now this is trash. I'll tell you what's trash about this watch. First of all, again, you got the aperture windows. The fonts are horrible. I mean, this is Thierry Stern designed this watch. You know, Thierry Stern has got zero taste. I don't even know what's going on with this watch. You get this hand, it's a second. I have no idea what's going on with this watch. I don't even know what's going on here. It's a second hand? A minute hand? I don't know what's going on. I'm so confused looking at this watch. It's probably like 42 millimeter. How big is this watch? 40 millimeter. It's too big for Patek. I mean, this is a disaster. And they don't even have, look at this. It doesn't even have a deployant. I like the clasp. It's a cool clasp. I like the way it says Patek Philippe. That way the peasants know that you're wearing a Patek, because the old Tang buckles, they didn't have a Patek signature on the outside. I mean, and you got this grace. It's a very cold dial. I mean, look at this brushed. This watch is garbage. It's going to be worthless in a year. Mike, I mean, you're a disgrace, seriously. You know what? JLC dual face chronograph, I like. I actually like. Hang on a second. Which one is that? That's the. I know they have a different ones. I actually. They made so many variations. I think. Oh yeah. Oh, great watch. No, this is beautiful. No, this is a beautiful watch. No, this watch is a work of art. I think it's a fucking work of art. Would I buy this watch? No, I would not buy this watch. It's a beautiful watch. And it's actually a horological masterpiece. I mean, this watch is... I don't know what the dial looks like, actually. Is this a lacquer or a sunburst dial? What color is the dial? I know they did so many variations. I don't even know. In rose gold, JLC does beautiful work. Now, let me tell you what's great about the watch. First of all, the problem is it's too big. How big? It's too big. I think the watch is just too big. If you can wear it, if it fits on your wrist, then it's an amazing watch. And what's great about it is, look at this. Beautiful hands, beautiful markers. It's a work of art. Seriously, JLC dials, these I love those markers. Those, like, to get with a 3D. I mean, it's magnificent. It's a work of art. Now, again, I'm not a chronograph guy, so I don't even know if it works. I have no idea, like, if it's what. I have no idea. Couldn't care less. But this is just so beautiful. Now, you got it's a dual time, right? Am I right? Hold on a second. What is this? Is it a dual time? What is this watch? I think it's a dual time. Why do you have two? You have two different dials. Is it a dual time? I think it's a dual time. Yeah, Mike. What is your watch? Is it rose gold? Oh, it's not dual. Oh, hold on a second. Are you saying that the dial on the back, that's basically when you set the chronograph, that's actually gives you the time? Like, in other words, if you set the chronograph, it's going to tell you that, 4 hours and 22 minutes and 31 seconds elapsed. Is that what it's doing? Or it's not I don't, okay, you got to explain how it works, but I think it's amazing. I don't even care what it is. Oh, it's the same time? Oh, it's the same time on both dials? I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. But you know what? Yeah, I don't know. That might be a bit of a compromise. It might be a bit of a compromise because it's like, I don't know. Why do I need to know the same time on both sides to look at two different dials? I don't know. That's a bit of a compromise. I think they made some other very cool chronographs. But look, the JLC is the watchmaker's watchmaker. I would argue, and look at the blue hands, look at the blue dial. I mean, Dolphin, everything about the watch is perfect. I would argue JLC is a finer watch than Patek Philippe. And at their best, like their Hybris 3D, with their tourbillon, all that, they are the top. They are the best in the world. Again, all these wankers are gonna say, "Oh, the finishing is not as good. Oh, the finishing is not as good as Patek. Oh, it's not as good as Langenzoon. Oh, it's not as good as Langenzoon. Look at my finishing in the back of my watch." No, JLC is the best. Yeah, I'm sure it's a cool watch. Is it rose gold? Mike, what is your watch? Hope it's a rose gold. Is it a rose gold? What color is your Bugatti? Mike, what color is your Bugatti and what color is your I forgot, you don't have a Bugatti. No, what color is your JLC dial and what color is your metal? Hybris. Oh, fuck, stainless steel, fucking peasant. Mike, get off my channel. Leave right now. I don't fucking want peasant watches, any stainless steel trash. I mean, look, if you're going to get this watch, you got to have it in a precious metal. By the way, I'm completely against JLC being worn. A watch like this should only be worn in precious metal. You should never wear this in stainless steel. JLC only. Again, this is my rule for JLC. If you're going to go for JLC, you got to have, it's got to be precious metal. Let's look at the Hybris. And this is not even a good Hybris. Look at this. This is not even a good Hybris. So they do some amazing stuff. And you can get this watch for deep, deep, deep discount. I mean, they do. I mean, we've shown some of their stuff. I'm surprised there's only one Hybris. And this is not even a good one. But JLC does amazing work at the top of their game. I mean, I'd love, you know which one I'd love to buy? JLC, is it the Tradition? Is it a Tradition? No, what is it called? JLC Grand? I don't know what the watch is. I saw a very cool one. The problem is it's just too big. It's a giant piece of gold. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about something very advanced. Yeah. That's like, they got some crazy stuff. I mean, look, again, Mike, I don't know. Would you agree that if you compare, again, apples to, if you do like a comparison of top end JLC versus top end Patek, I would say JLC is far better. It's a superior watch. Patek likes to show off. They got their, master chime and master baiter or whatever with that ugly engraving. It's the one that Sylvester Stallone had. Total garbage. JLC does incredible stuff with the Hybris line. Incredible. Yeah, and you don't have to, it's just do beautiful work. Now let's go back to Archie Luxury. Speaking of peasants, back to Archie. So again, the GMT is a compromised watch. Do not get this watch. I think JLC is better though. I think JLC, but again, do not pay retail. You got to get a deep discount. JLC is the best bang for the buck. Even the peasant, Archie Luxury, knows that. He's got that stupid chronograph. His chronograph is not bad actually. It's too big, but you're getting bang for the buck. It's the watch. It's his sex. Look, Archie's basically known to be a sex tourist. He goes to Bangkok to bang the lady boys, and who knows what else he's doing. Who knows what kind of deviant PDF activity he's up to in Bangkok and in the Philippines and whatever. But that's why he wears the big JLC, because that they think that he's wealthy. He's not a bogan. Yeah, gray market only. They go right direct to the gray market at a discount. JLC, it's like right out the door, it goes to the gray market at a 30% discount. Direct. Maybe not the Hybris. That one, not so much. Okay, let's talk about the real garbage in the collection. He's got the bluesy, as they call it, the Submariner two-tone. The problem, it's the ceramic version. It's the bigger case, the ceramic bezel. It's ugly watch. It's just the wrong size. It's a disaster. It's just ugly and stupid. It's too big. It's a disaster watch, and they're probably going to be worthless in a year. Now, the absolute worst disaster is right here. That is the Breguet. The Breguet, what do they call it? The tradition? Not the tradition. Right there. The skeleton. And we had one of the punters was on. That was the Red Baron was on. And he's a Breguet man. That's right. The Red Baron is a Breguet fan. And he would tell you, this watch that Archie has here is it's trash. It's for the peasants. Why?
Can I tell you why every man needs a Breguet?
Oh, let's listen to this. Every
What's
man
that?
Breguet.
There's a reason every man needs a Breguet, okay?
Let's listen to this. You know, by the way, I think, you know, you got to give Archie credit. He came up with some good marketing lines. He came up with this thing. Every collector needs a man on the moon. Every collector needs an Omega Speedman. That was his line, but he came up with that. And it's complete bull. Nobody needs anything. You don't need an Omega Speedmaster. Nobody needs that. It's a garbage watch. Nobody needs that to be considered a watch collector, unless they really, really have low self-esteem. If you have really low self-esteem and you need to be validated by having an Omega Speedmaster, by Archie Luxury, you need validation from Archie Luxury, from this bogan of Brisbane with the horns on his head. If you need validation from this bogan, this lowlife, e-begging whore who does fake watch robberies, then if you need validation from that guy, then go ahead. But again, this thing with nobody needs Breguet. Breguet is, again, it's a Phoenix brand. It's owned by Omega Swatch Group. Trash. It's made by 5-year-old Chinese kids in Hong Kong right now.
There's a reason.
Hey, is that guy? Hey, Archie, is that guy Russian? Hey, Archie, that guy what's his name?
Look at this guy. He wears white linen pants.
Hey, ты русский, man. Ты по-русски понимаешь?
This. Okay.
Gosh, man, how could you not?
So look, he's got some bukiak that walks in there.
He's a Breguet. Look at that.
Now I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. He's got a double-breasted jacket, pinstripe, white pants. Now I don't know. Is that an odd jacket? That's a bit of a risk. I don't know. It's actually not bad. I have an issue though. It looks like it's the summer. Maybe I don't know. It's, you know, with a double-breasted, it's always difficult. To me, it's a fall winter look. I have a real issue with it because it gets a little hot. But anyway, okay, it goes. Oh, he's getting a haircut, a barber.
Hey,
He doesn't.
Guy's got a dirty Sanchez mustache. He goes to some hipster barber. You know, the guy's got the tattoos. He's got that mohawk, the faux hawk, whatever you want to call it.
Jerk off the phone. He's a man.
I'm not saying I don't like Breguet.
Okay. So this is they're trying to sell you this lifestyle. Oh, he's smoking. What is this thing these days that everybody's like, they got to smoke cigars to be considered, I don't know, sophisticated? Is that considered sophisticated now? Like if you smoke cigars, is that considered like a mark of sophistication on social media now? You know, is that what is that like a pretentious thing? Because it's funny. I've been smoking cigars since I'm like 18, maybe early 18. Yeah, 18. That's right. I was smoking Davidoff Grand Cru No. 5s when I was 18. They were $5 a piece back then. So I'll let you do the math how far back that was.
I'm just saying the rose
God!
Oh, look, he's got a cigar.
Hey,
Right.
Archie, is your friend Russian, man?
You understand that is just
on a.
What's that guy's name? Machine Gun what?
But this is just so cool, man. It's Breguet. Do you understand Breguet at its best?
Oh, he's got some Russian guy. Oh, that's some Russian trash. Some пиздец.
Hey, ты по-русски говоришь?
I mean, this brand is
Арчи только сосает хуй.
so cool. Do you understand that?
Hey, Archie, is your friend Russian, man?
No, I'm not
Look
Russian.
at that. Look at this guy. That's a Breguet owner. This is why Breguet is so cool. They got the coolest fucks. These guys are so cool.
Look at this. You see how Archie gets sold in a bill of goods? You see how easily this guy's suckered? Do you see how Archie is a sucker for this bullshit marketing grift? Zat. 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 Shut up. Zatkis Edi. Zat. You know, my Russian is a little bit rusty. I got to practice. Yeah. Yeah. So Archie fell. Archie is a sucker, and he fall. I mean, look, the guy is not very sophisticated. He falls. He's a real sucker for this marketing grift. You know, they show some guy with a dirty Sanchez mustache in a double-breasted blazer with stripes, odd jacket as they would call it. I mean, yeah, it looks actually I can't tell the details on the tailoring, but it looks like very basic tailoring there. Look, Breguet is kind of, look, Breguet. Exactly. Look, Breguet, and by the way, here's the reason why the Russians love Breguet, or they did love it. They're oligarchs, because Breguet was the first real watch, right? It was made by Abraham Breguet, major innovator, late 1700s. I mean, he basically invented modern watch, or watchmaking, basic, or whatever you want to call it. And by the way, if you look at a Breguet pocket watch from the 1700s, it looks amazing. I mean, the guy was an absolute genius. The coin edging, the guilloche, everything. I mean, and what happened was then they went bust. The company was bust for like 100 years, okay? It was revived in the 60s. I think it went bust again. And then they brought in Daniel Roth in the 1980s. That's Daniel Roth, the watchmaker. And he said, look, you know what? We're going to make Breguet great again. How do you say make Breguet, MBGA, make Breguet great again. And what he did was, he's basically the guy that brought in the design language with the guilloche, with basically the watches that you know as Breguet. They're really made to look like the old pocket watches. That was the Breguet Classique. I mean, this is basically what we're talking about. We're talking about something like this. I mean, this is kind of like, the oligarch watch. Perpetual calendar, I mean, but here's my issue with this. Here's my issue. It's a dishonest design. Now, when I was a kid and I saw these ads in the 80s growing up, I used to see Breguet ads in the 80s. And, I was like, I don't know, whatever. I was like, I don't know, 10, 12, whatever I was. I was like, I couldn't afford a Breguet, obviously. Couldn't afford anything, right? So, but I remember seeing their ads like in Forbes and whatever. And, and I aspire to one day own a Breguet. I thought, wow, this means success, Breguet. And they had these great ads in the 80s because they were doing the marketing, right? And I thought, wow, Breguet means like, whatever. It means like, if you have a Breguet, I mean, that's like the ultimate watch, right? Or whatever. And you got the complications, all this cool stuff on it. Like, I thought, wow, that's amazing. The problem is, and in the 80s, it would have been a cool watch. I think it would have been cool because it's a very 80s. Look, it's a revival of an old-fashioned type of thing. So it's kind of, I kind of get where they're coming from. I kind of get it in the 80s, but the problem is to do that type of design, that the old-timey fake vintage design in 2025. We're in 2025. You want something that looks modern. And that's why I like Patek, the 3940. At least you got a classic look. It's a timeless look. Patek 3940 is timeless. This already looks dated. It looks dated. And this is the mistake that Archie's making is, Archie and I are actually the same age. I mean, we're almost identically the same age. And he probably grew up looking at the Breguet ads in the 80s also. So I kind of get it why he's a sucker, except, look at the coin edging. That is beautiful. But the thing is, I don't know. It's 2000. It's kind of a late Daniel Roth era. I think it's okay, actually. I think this is actually pretty cool. If you can get it cheap, again, for 16 grand, date, moon phase, there's some value. The one thing is you do not want to have a date window. You don't want to have a date window. That's for peasants. That's for lazy people. That's for like the Americans. That's for the Americans who are too lazy to look at a date wheel. Yeah, there's some value in Breguet, I think. I mean, and you don't want to get this. One of our punters had one of these. It's a terrible watch. He ended up selling it. He lost like $500. He was lucky to only lose $500 on this porcelain dial, whatever it is, crap. I told him straight up it was crap. And he figured it out. I mean, he figured it out. He figured out it was crap, and he was lucky to get. What is this? Ooh. Oh, it's 120. I think it was 12,000. I thought, whoa, 124. Wow. Oh, Happy Jewelers. That's the used car dealers. That's the used car dealers in Orange County. Not bad, right? What is this? Horramundi. What does this do? I don't know what this watch does. Anyway, oh yeah, there we go. That's right. We got one of the punters. That's right. There we go, guys. You seeing here right there. This is a man enough. He's man enough. The Baron. He's a real aristocrat, as you can see in his name. He's a genuine Baron, aristocrat. He's willing to admit he made a mistake. He made a horrific mistake with the wrong Breguet, and he was lucky enough to get out unscathed. He paid $500 for the ownership experience, for the education of Breguet, and now he's happy with a Russian oligarch, Breguet Marine, which, it's interesting. I wouldn't wear it, but for some people, it's a good watch. It kind of, but you do need to have for that watch, you do need to have at least, a 100-meter yacht, docked in Sardinia or somewhere, in the summer, or maybe in Capri. It's an oligarch watch. The Breguet Marine in gold, yellow gold, rose gold, white gold. It definitely looks like a big money watch. I mean, it's a very interesting choice. Now, I would have thought the Baron would have gotten something like this, which is, classic Breguet, but the Baron decided to go modern because I guess he's a Gen Z or whatever. I don't know, whatever the kids are these days. So he's going with the Marine. But anyway, let's go back to Archie. Let's go back to mistakes to avoid. Now, the Baron Red, was very vocal in his deep hatred, his animosity to this Breguet, the skeleton, which is, you can basically pick up for $8,000. You can pick up that watch for $8,000. Oh, we got the Kesslowitz. We got C-rate. Speaking of C-rate tomato cans, this Kesslowitz guy. That Kesslowitz is an example of what happens. Kesslowitz is an example of, we got the Baron in the house. Baron.
Hey.
All right. Now, we got Kesslowitz in the house. Are you familiar with Kesslowitz? He was a young man that was groomed. You know what grooming is, right?
Yes, I do.
He was groomed by Archie Luxury. He's actually and the original OC, aka O'Cuck. This guy was groomed, and he ended up buying a Patek. Hang on a second. What's Kesslowitz? What's the model Patek shitter that you got? Patek Perpetual with the syringe hands. Hang on a second. Let me pull up this a la poubelle trash. Let me look up cheapest perpetuals. Let me look up cheapest perpetuals to see Kesslowitz's watch. Actually, let me show you what you can get for Patek. Speaking of cheap perpetuals, this is a good Baron. What do you think of this value for 31 large, 33 large? And you could probably get this for 30. Perpetual calendar with hobnail to give you that Breguet vibe.
I don't like the hobnail. I've never liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it's a little formal. It looks a little bit formal. I had my first Patek was a Calatrava that had this hobnail and these type. It was these type. It's the what is it? Jack Welch, the former CEO of GE, had that watch famously, and I thought it was a great watch. I actually really loved that watch. I probably shouldn't have sold it, and it was a good experience. I think I paid like $4,000 and I sold it for $6,000 to a dealer and a grifter. A guy who was a grifter. Anybody that knows there's a certain watch dealer on West 57th Street, certain watch dealer on West 57th Street, a bit of a grifter. He sells a lot of stuff in that store. Yes, yeah, so I sold to him. Yeah, I had to run to the bank with a check, make sure it was legit. Anyway, Baron. So are we talking Breguet?
Just a little bit. I want to hop on. So I sent you a message on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. It was just so Vuitton, they released a new watch. So I thought it had some of the elements of the Breguet tradition. So I was thinking, so, you know, and I've also been seeing it in other watches lately, like that type of style. So I was thinking, so, you know, there could be a push maybe to kind of just like for that design choice right now. So potentially there could be a little bit of upside.
You know,
in the short term.
Oh, I see where you're going. I see where you're going, Baron. I see where you're going. You know what? Look, this watch, the one we're looking at here, I think it's in rose gold or maybe a chocolate, or I don't. Is that dial black or chocolate?
It looks black in that photo, but it could just be the lighting.
Do all black dials look the same to you? Is that what you're saying?
Right now, it looks all black.
All right, we know you're Asian, and the Asians are very racist. I mean, it's a well-known fact. I mean, is it true or not?
I would say yes to some extent.
Okay,
so largely yes. Yeah.
Okay, so the black dial, I actually think it's not bad. Look, it's What is it? It's $8,000, right?
I think I've seen some going for 8 on Chrono.
Yeah, and you could, which means you could probably get it for 7, maybe. No,
perhaps if they're willing to, you know, if they want to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, it's not bad. Look, if I was starting out, whatever, if I was in my 20s today, let's say if I was a young guy, and I just needed to have like something which it was kind of a dressy, but like still kind of cool. That watch kind of ticks off the boxes because, you know, it's a bit of a hot mess. You know, it's got modern elements, the plastic inside, but it's got it's kind of a mix, right? It's not terrible, and you're not going to lose money if you buy it for $75. If you buy it for $8,000, you're not going to lose money, right?
Yeah. So right now, I would agree, only because of, I guess, you know, just because what I've noticed, it seems like there's a push for that style,
for that design. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, it's interesting. Yeah, there is it's kind of MBNF and whatever. You know, a lot of these indie brands are doing that kind of look. You know, that cheap plastic, see-through look a little bit. You know, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the cheap.
Cheap plastic. Yeah. Even though there are some like very high-end brands doing it, like their watch selling for like hundreds of $1,000s. But then again, you know, those are also kind of like, you know, those brands, they have a big following and they only make like, you know, just a handful of watches, so they're basically pre-sold already.
I'm not a believer in that. I'm not a believer in that stuff. Let's talk about Patek Perpetual, and then we'll let you. I know you're in a hurry. You're busy doing nothing. What do you think of this Perpetual calendar? It's a chocolate dial. It's a rose gold chocolate dial.
That is, it looks more champagne in that photo.
No, it's dark. Look at this.
Okay, yeah, it was just the lighting. I don't know. I don't think well, I'll have to see it in person. But right now I don't like the chocolate dial. I think they could have. It might be better with.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Look at this. Look at this. You can't. It doesn't show up well. It doesn't show up well. It doesn't show up well on camera. I think it's a beautiful watch.
All right, that's a little better because the dial's showing up as darker now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a beautiful watch. But anyway, that is, look. So you can get the reason I'm doing is I just want to show the punters that you can get really classic Patek Philippe for in the 30s and for even 40 grand. And then this watch, again, this is the modern version of the 3940, a little bit bigger dial, which I think is great. Rose gold chocolate. I think it's beautiful. And I mean, I would love to actually look at this. Look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful.
Yeah, that is a good looking watch. It doesn't even look chocolate there. It looks like it's kind of got this kind of like green tint to it in that photo.
No, it's bronze. Well, bronze gets a green tint. No, it's bronze. It's beautiful. It's one of the best dials they ever did. But the Kesslowitz, what happened with Kesslowitz is Kesslowitz made the error. Look at this. You got the platinum. But the Kesslowitz made the horrific error of, let's look at his watch. Do you know which watch he has? You know what the model number is? Because it's so horrible. Oh, here we go. This is Kesslowitz's watch. This is the Kesslowitz edition. This is the Kesslowitz shitter right there. That's right. Right over there. What do you think of that, Baron? You probably love it.
I mean, it does have more like more of a modern look to it. It just doesn't have the presence that a Patek should have.
No, it doesn't. That's the fucking problem. It doesn't have the gravitas. It looks basically like some sort of watch that a guy who drives a van with a mattress in the back, and he's got candy in the front seats, and he pulls up at middle schools during recess. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And in white gold, it's the worst. But I think he has one in what color? I don't know. I'll tell you what my issues are with it. Actually, actually, let me hear from you. What problems do you have with this watch? I know you have some. Because I think we're on the same page, probably. But what problems do you have?
Okay,
you're very
so
oriented. You pick out very minute detail.
Yeah. Okay, so just looking at it right now, right? Generally, I like Arabic numerals.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't work with this watch. I think just because it has, perhaps maybe because it's got the moon phase complication on it, it just doesn't seem like, I don't know, like when I see Arabic numerals, I think more of a casual kind of watch. But when I see a moon phase, I think like that's something that's like a little bit more dressy. So
you know what? I'm glad I have you on, because I knew something was wrong with it. I would not have said it's the moon phase. But to me, it's like a hot mess of different design elements. You got modern and traditional. It just doesn't work. The moon phase, look at the fonts. The fonts for the moon phase on the day wheel, they're like traditional kind of classic fonts on the date. And then you got the modern. It's a fucking hot mess.
Yeah.
What do you think of the syringe hands? What do you think of these syringe hands? It looks like some guy who's got a dirty needle from drugs. He's spreading AIDS with his heroin needle in his arm. That's what that looks like. Kesslowitz is spreading AIDS with his heroin needle. Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah. So in general, I don't like syringe hands. There's only like a couple of styles of hands that I like.
You're not a drug addict. Kesslowitz lives downtown LA with all the drug addicts who are overdosing, shooting up in downtown LA. That's what they do. Well, actually, no, you're in Oregon, so it's close enough. But maybe even worse. But Kesslowitz lives in downtown LA, and he lives amongst these degenerates. He probably voted for Hillary Clinton again. But anyway, go ahead. What else do you hate about the watch?
I think, okay, so this could be a good looking watch if they kind of cleaned it up. Okay, so going back to the Arabic numerals. So I think the Arabic numerals works for, I was just on Patek's webpage the other day, and I was looking at, just some of their more, I guess, like sporty kind of watches. They do have a good looking chronograph that uses Arabic numerals, and I was thinking, oh, like I wouldn't buy it, but like, oh, this is like a good looking watch.
I could see. I actually these numerals are loomed. I think they're loomed, right? They're loomed.
Yeah.
So I could, and it's kind of cool. I actually could, if they had the right design, it could actually work, because I like the font. I don't like the hands. The syringe hands just creep me out. They just creep me the fuck out. And why does the watch need a second hand? You need to know what time it is to the second? I mean, are you that much of a peasant?
Actually, I do like a second hand, just because I'm always wondering, is like, oh, like, is it running? That's always in the back of my mind if I don't see something moving on the
Maybe
watch.
you remember. Maybe you remember the Chinese Communist Party. That's why you want the second hand. Because it's got that Maoist thing. It's got a Maoist vibe. Capitalists don't wear second hands.
Okay. It's okay. So if the numerals are loomed, I don't know. That's also kind of weird. Like saying
I love it. I love it. I
Luma.
love it. Actually, with those numerals, if it was the right dial,
Yeah.
I think it would be very cool loomed. But again, you can't do it on this. But if it was a contemporary design, if the watch had a contemporary feel, this is like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
No. It's so go back to the loom. I don't know. I think the loom doesn't. I don't know. The loom with the moon phase is just. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that right now.
How do you feel about the case or the lug design? What do you think of the lugs? With that like stepping, and they got like, what do you make of that?
I don't have any opinion either way about it. But overall, I mean, the case, it's a sporty looking case, just by I think just because of the thickness of the bezel.
It's huge. It's 40 millimeters. So and in this it wears even bigger because the lug, but Keslowitz, he likes big watches because he feels very sexually inadequate. So he's got to wear something which is at least 40 mil. He needs these big watches because he's like a lazy American. It's the whole American thing. They got to have everything big. Everything's got to be big. And this guy is, he lives in LA, which is like, I mean, that's like real America. I mean, LA is like, that's like, that's like the dumbest people are in LA. I mean, if you think of California, the smart people are north. They're like in San Francisco. The further south you go, the dumber it gets. Like it starts getting really dumb in LA, and by the time you get to San Diego, I mean, it's like you might as well be, basically retarded. But anyway, but he needs that big watch because he's feels. He's got to drive like a big SUV, big Cadillac, whatever, Big Mac, double cheeseburger. He works for Disney, so he's part of the left wing deep state. He's part of the deep state. He's a deep state operative, and this is part of the thing. They wear these big watches because it's a deep state thing. This is anyway. What else do you? Let's keep going.
We're just gonna rip on this watch. I mean, other than that, I think this has potential to be a good looking watch. It's just I don't know. It just needs to be further refined.
I would agree. They kind of missed the boat. I'll tell you what I think is okay. This is a copy. This basically what they did with this essentially was a modern version of the 3448. Let me see if I can pull this up, which was the best looking watch Patek ever made. It's a beautiful watch, classic. Hang on a second. Let me pull up so we see it properly. It needs to be seen properly. I don't know if, no, these photos can't do justice. That's what that is. Hang on. Now I'll pull this up. Okay. You see this watch?
Yeah.
So that is basically what they should have done, is something that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit more modern. I mean, they could have, the lugs, I guess they could have, the lugs, I guess they could have made a little bit more, whatever, but this is it, right? You got the date wheel, you got the moon phase, mm-hmm. You got your stupid calendar thing. So that way, you don't have to look at a window, at a wheel, it's for the lazy look. Beautiful dolphin hands. Look at those hands. I mean, would you fuck those hands?
Yeah, those are good looking hands. Okay, so this is a dress watch, but the previous one, that's a sports watch. So that's why it doesn't translate over.
Well, no. But here's the thing. What they could have done was they could have kept this layout, mm-hmm. but just used modern hands, like modern, not these dolphin hands, like a modern, whatever. I mean, whatever. I'm sure, whatever. And the case, they could have used the case that they have. I mean, it's not the best, but they could have used the case. I mean, there's somebody. This is again in white gold. They could have, but I think this is the doll they should have gone with, basically. Clean.
Yeah, with the white dial, I was thinking they could also maybe do like a different dial color, maybe like a salmon.
Oh yeah, in salmon that watch that he has, 5320. I think they do it in salmon. It looks it looks okay. The problem with that watch is, I think it is that it's going to look dated. It's going to look very dated in a few years. You know what I mean? It's just going to look. It's going to look like, people are going to know what it is. That's my problem with it.
Are you referring to just because it's got a salmon dial, or
No. All of these. I think this whole 5320 is going to look very dated, because it's going to have that Thierry Stern taint. Thierry Stern is driving the company downhill, and anything he's involved, basically, where the Thierry Stern era watches, that's going to be considered like the dark ages of Patek, like it's the whole 2012 onwards or whatever he got involved. But you can see that's Thierry Stern's design hand at work. It's the hand of Satan. Thierry Stern has $100 million yacht.
I'm not surprised.
Actually, I bet when he's on his yacht, he wears your watch. He wears the Breguet.
Perhaps.
Is that watch the Thierry Stern yacht? Hang on a second. Let me see if we can pull it up. And then we'll let you go. I just want to show you this. I'll let you show you this. I know you're in a hurry. Thierry Stern yacht. Where is okay, here it is. Hang on. Shit, what is going on here? We got, okay. So this is Thierry Stern's yacht. This is his yacht. You see it?
Yeah.
Guess what it's called?
The Nautilus. Is it?
Yeah. Look at the interior. I don't know. He's got a fake Basquiat painting. Maybe it's a real, but it's a very bad one. White. You don't want a white Basquiat. A very sterile. This is very sterile. Like, it looks like a. Look at this.
It looks like a showroom.
Yeah, it's very sterile. It looks like, I don't know, like some sort of cheap motel. This is where Terry Stern hangs out with his Russian whores in Sardinia, the coke whores. And that's where they wear the 5320. This is he probably designed Keslowitz's watch on this. Yeah, ask Keslowitz. Why has Keslowitz never been invited to this boat? How come Keslowitz has not been invited to a Thierry Stern yacht party? We know he's been to the Diddy parties, right? We know he's been to quite a few of the Diddy parties in LA. After midnight, and after midnight is when all the freaky stuff happens. The freak offs. I bet Keslowitz probably he probably has some of those the bottles with the baby lotion that were confiscated. I bet some of those were used on him.
One of the thousands of bottles.
That's right, 1,000 bottles. But yeah, look at this. So this is the boat. If you have a boat like this, this is what you need for the Breguet Marine. You have a Breguet Marine and you step off this. It fits. That's a perfect fit. It's not the Nautilus. You need the Breguet Marine.
That's right.
And what you also need to get is no, seriously, this is what you need, Baron. You got to get blue suede loafers with the white rubber bottoms. Like every Russian wears blue suede loafers. They don't have to have the white rubber, whatever. You got to get blue suede loafers with your watch and white pants, and that's it. You're set. You just
yeah. And then I'll wear like a linen shirt.
Yeah.
Maybe like a gold chain, like a thick gold chain.
Yeah. Basically, actually, with your watch, you may not need it, but that's the look. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. Is this summer, You need to invest in a pair of blue suede loafers,
Uh-huh.
white pants.
What? Yep.
You got the watch already. That's the most expensive part. And just go to hang out like in Saint Tropez or so. You hear anybody speaking Russian, and and you just make sure they see the watch, and you'll be invited to all the good parties.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll probably get some of those Russian hookers. Do you like Russian girls? You like Tatiana and Irina.
I do. I've dated a couple. They're
Were
yeah,
they
and
prostitutes?
no, they were not. I think like half my friends are Eastern European.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the Eastern Europeans and the Chinese get along very well.
The
You've
Asian Europeans?
Eastern Europeans.
Russia is not really Europe. Russia is kind of like
It's
kind of Asian,
both.
right? It's a little.
Yeah,
It's a little
I mean, like Russia's huge.
What are they? They're basically Mongolians. They're basically kind of like white Mongolians, essentially, because it's kind of By the way, you know what I really like. I like
What?
these Russian girls who speak. Excuse me, these Chinese girls who speak Russian. I mean, they're not Chinese. They're from Kazakhstan. You ever see that?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love that. Yeah, because how did they get? I don't know. What are they? Are they Chinese or are they Kazakh? I mean, what are they exactly? What's their real ethnicity? Are they Mongolian? What's their...
Okay, so according to my Russian friend that grew up when he was a kid, he grew up his childhood years in Russia.
Yeah.
He said like if you look Asian and you're in Russia, everyone's just gonna assume you're a Tatar.
Tatar. Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
Tartar.
Tatar.
Yeah.
Not Tartar sauce. Tatar.
Yeah.
The Tatars.
Yep.
From Crimea. No, but Kazakhstan or no, I've seen like where is it? Oh, I saw. Yeah, no, this was. I was in Rome about 2 years ago. What did I buy? They get these students coming in. They get they have the slave labor. The Italians, they don't want to pay for anything, so they get the students. They have them come in to work for cheap. And so they were importing these kids from Kazakhstan. And I see this Chinese girl, working this bar. She speaks Russian. It was like, wow, it was amazing. I mean, obviously she had zero interest in me, but but I was able to practice Russian, not in the good way, but just in the
just the street Russian.
Yeah, but that's what you need. You got to find one of these Kazakhstan Russians who speak Russian. I mean, that's a good look. I like the high cheekbones. Like the Mongolians have the high cheekbones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like. What I like is I like the Asian look with the high cheekbones. That's the look I like. Where can I meet them?
You'll have to go to Russia.
Oh, all right. All right, Baron. Listen, thank you for showing up on the channel.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. And what else? Any before we let you go? Any watch news? Any watch updates?
No, it's just that since we last spoke, so I was on the Breguet website, just looking at some of their high-end watches, right? Because we were talking about the design last time.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I kind of got it figured out. Like, so that design, that old-fashioned design, it works on their like super high-end watches. Like, like
the
watches.
ones that are like transparent, the ones that are modern looking, basically.
Yeah, so the double tourbillon ones, and then their skeletons, which are like they're basically like $250,000 watches. So like for those, it works, but for their lower end stuff, like it not so much.
Oh, real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
How would you rate Archie Luxury's collection? Actually, that's what I should have asked you first. I mean, this is we do a horrible live stream. Maybe that's why I'm not getting any super chat because how would you rate this collection, this box of shitters? Would you? Actually, I don't know. Give me your honest opinion.
It's an all right collection. It's not something where I would go like if I were just looking at someone's collection where I would kind of stop to examine each one. It's just like a bunch of just like
random.
Yeah, I wouldn't say random. It's kind of like it's like if you took like each watch of the moment, from Yeah, that it's a collection of watches of the moment. That's it. All it's missing is like
Ooh, that hurts. Ooh, repeat that again. Repeat that again. So we stick the knife in.
it's a collection of watches of the moment. The only thing it's missing is a Royal Oak.
Well, no, this is not a high-end collection. This is kind of like a mid-level collection. This is not at that level. I mean, this is kind of like, yeah, watch. It's interesting. Yeah, I think Archie basically, I think what he does is he collects stuff that's like, he's like 10 years behind, like whatever was the watch of the moment. 5 years later or 7 years later, you know, prices drop. That's when he picks it up.
Okay, so when I look at the collection, right, it's like it's not. I wouldn't describe this as someone that has a collection of watches. It's someone that has watches, right?
Yeah, it's an accumulation. It's an accumulation of just random shit, like whatever. Like, oh, I got a GMT Rolex, this. I got an Omega. How would you rank the Omega Speedmaster? Is that the mark of a peasant? I mean, if you see somebody wearing a Omega, would you just spit at them or throw your shoe at them?
It's a like that's just like a if someone's looking at the chronograph, right? That's probably what they're going to end up with is the Speedmaster. That's it. It's either that or maybe I'm thinking like they would end up with like maybe like a Breitling, and that's it. That's if they want to put like some money into a watch.
The
So, I mean it's not a bad watch. It's just kind of like it's just the watch that like everyone gets if they're looking for a chronograph.
I mean, when you say everyone, that means basically peasants, the masses, the unwashed,
the hoi polloi, yeah,
the riffraff.
yeah.
You know, that's what it is. It's basically the pedestrian, the watch for the proletariat. It's the proletariat watch, really. That's the proletariat collection. It's like, I mean, look, Archie's basically proletariat. I mean, the whole scam with Archie is he's always saying, "Oh, it's hot, it's hot." He's always like crying like he's poor. Archie's actually, he's pulling in probably probably 150 grand US plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's got I think he's got a rental property in Australia. I mean, he comes from a nice, stable middle class family. His father is a CPA. His brother is I think his brother is like actually a productive citizen. He's got an accounting firm. Archie's kind of the black sheep of the family, but he's crying poverty. But he's basically, he's basically, scamming the public. He's scamming the people on YouTube. And I think my theory is people watch Archie Luxury so they feel less worse about their life. Like they watch this guy and he's saying how hard it is. And then he's got that guy, Mike the snake guy, who's like really depressing. And they say, shit, my life is not as bad as Mike the snake. And that's why they watch.
Yeah, or it could just be like
poverty porn.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, okay, so Archie makes like, let's say roughly 150 a year, which is like, that's pretty good money. In Australia, it's probably even better, right? But
of course.
He makes terrible financial decisions. He makes like the worst financial decisions.
Oh,
so
well,
it just
he buys a BMW. He buys that shit of BMW.
Yeah.
He should have just bought he should have bought a Bentley flying, like a 2006 Bentley. He'd be happy.
Yeah. But I think people just watch because it's like, all right, like I wonder what terrible choices he's going to make today.
By the way, I made a horrible financial decision. I bought this Mercedes convertible, a 2017 S550, right?
Yeah, I think I've seen it in one of your videos.
Hold on a sec. I bought it because I was like, I was kind of like, I wanted a, it was a long time since I had a convertible, and like, I kind of like, okay, whatever. I just needed to get it out of my system. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. That car, the value has dropped so much since March. It's shocking. It's shocking. I mean, I knew I should. I was like, you know what? Like, what? It's horrific. I mean, it was a horrific whatever. And you know what? Horrific drop in value. And the Bentley has been an amazing car. I mean, the only thing is that the wheels, I got to get new wheels because they get like corrosion or whatever. But the best buy I ever made in my life was the 06 Bentley, the flying. I mean, the car, amazing, no maintenance, amazing. And it's kept its value.
Yeah. You know what, that is surprising because it's not in terms of value, but like in terms of low maintenance, because that's generally not what someone would generally assume
Because that's
for like a really high end
because
car.
no, okay, because what happened is, look, Bentley doesn't want peasants buying that car, so they spread the rumor that it's high maintenance. Well, it used to be. No, the reality, no, it was back when the British, because the British, anything the British touch is garbage. You know, the British, they don't know how to make machinery. You don't buy machinery from the British. You know, it's like the Germans know how to make machinery. So once VW took over Bentley, now that car was made. The one I have is made on a platform called the Volkswagen Phaeton. The Volkswagen Phaeton was the best car Volkswagen ever made. It was made by the CEO. He wanted to make a car that would, you know, be the best in the world.
Mhm.
And the Phaeton was an amazing car. The problem is they couldn't sell it because nobody's going to pay $100,000 for a Volkswagen, right? Like, what the fuck? Especially in America. In Germany, yes. In Germany. But not in America. And so the car was a disaster. But what happened was they took the platform and they just put the Bentley on top of it. So all the leather, all the whatever is Bentley.
Mhm.
And it's honestly, it's a bit of an ugly car. I think it's a little bit fugly. I've always thought it was a little bit fugly looking as a sedan, but it drives amazing. It's very low key. Like, you know, you can drive that car can do 200 miles an hour.
No, I'm not surprised. Like most of the super high-end like
No.
luxury cars can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I paid $35,000. I think low 30s. It was somewhere in the low 30s. If I sold it today, I'd probably get 25.
Mhm.
This is 5 years later.
Yeah.
Right. So that's very good depreciation. $10,000 over 5 years.
Yeah.
That's,
On a car. Yeah.
2,000. That's $200 a month to drive a Bentley, basically.
Yeah.
The only issue I've had, the only expensive part is the tires. The tires wear out after 6,000 miles. And the tires now, those Michelins, are like almost $2,000 to replace them.
Mm.
4 tires, almost $2,000. So that's the expensive part. Everything else actually is, you know, the oil change is like $600, you know, every 6,000 miles. And, you know, every once in a while, something breaks, it costs like $1,000, like, you know, whatever. Every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's much cheaper than any Audi, any Mercedes, any BMW, any day of the week. I mean, Archie has spent more money doing maintenance on his shitter 3 Series than I have. Yeah, it's, you know, but that's, you know, yeah. Anyway, so speaking of peasant watches, so yeah, so Mike Lewis agrees the Omega Speedmaster is a peasant watch. Who wants to be average? Who wants to be average?
Yeah.
We got a peasant asking Joe Fargo, Longines? What the fuck? Get the fuck, Joe. Joe, leave this channel. Just fucking leave. Archie made me buy the Bluesy, but now it's time for the Bluesy. You know, he had the Bluesy originally. He had a Bluesy, the original one. You know, the one with the Rehot. You know, the pre-ceramic, which was actually I have that same watch. I have that. You know, but I feel like I need. You know, it's a good watch for Miami. It's not a watch you can really wear. You know, it's a summer watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't need a seasonal watch. You know, it's like I got to get rid of that watch.
You've been saying that for like a year.
Yeah, you know what? I asked, what the hell is that? Valhalla. Oh, it's no Aston. I don't know. Aston makes very bad cars. They're like, they're horrible. They're the trashy cars. No, listen. My philosophy is like the Archie luxury philosophy. I buy the car once it's at the bottom of the depreciation curve. The mistake I made with that Mercedes it was an impulse decision. I should have basically the one I really wanted was like a 1997 E-Class convertible, E500, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
E450 convertible, 2008, like a 2008 2010 E-Class convertible. That's what I wanted, but I can't find them. And those are 15,000. I would have gotten everything I'm getting from this. I mean, this car is, you know, it's got the performance, all that, but you know what? Too much electronics. It's got too many buttons. It's got too much like too much like nonsense, like stuff I don't need, like ridiculous. And I looked at the resale because I looked at Carvana. I literally got sick to my stomach when I saw what Carvana would pay me. I got sick to my stomach. I'm never buying a Mercedes again. I mean, well, actually, I should say never anything like unless it's at the bottom of the like I'm never ever.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to drive the car while you're wearing your Jaeger Joe.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm thinking. Let me ask you. You're a financial guy. Let me ask you a question. Okay, this is a serious question. I'm thinking. Okay, do I just get rid of it now, right?
Yeah.
And just take the hit now, or do I try to milk it for another because I mean the big hit you take in the first year because you're paying the taxes, the sales tax.
Yeah.
I mean, I got like $6,000, $5,000 in sales tax plus $6,000 in sales and registration, right?
Yeah. Okay. So if you get rid of the Mercedes now, what are you gonna replace it with?
Something sensible like a 2015 Lexus RX 350.
So I mean, if that's what you really want, but you bought the car for a reason, right? So you must just enjoy it for a little bit to get tired of it.
Well, you know what it is. I had a convertible for like 10, almost like 8 years.
Mhm.
I was like in my 30s then. Like it was different. It was like, okay, it was great. At this point, like I've done it. Like I don't want this. I realize, I don't need the sun beating down on my head.
Yeah.
I've done it. I mean, I've done the convertible thing. And what I like about the Lexus is, you can put like 200,000 miles on it. You can get one for like 20 grand. You can drive it to whatever, and there's no, they're very reliable.
Yeah.
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 And I can pick up MILFs.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't it be better to have the convertible to do that?
No, it's I actually, you know what? Can I tell you honestly?
Yeah.
I would get like a Toyota minivan, like a Toyota Sienna, but I wouldn't use the back seats. I would just fold because it's like it's a low key car. I would just maybe put like black wheels on it, and because it's actually very practical. It's like what the fuck, I mean, like I can have a car that goes 200 miles an hour, but then I need a car like to haul stuff around it. Sometimes you need stuff to haul around, or you want to like, I don't know. I don't want to say go camping, but you want to kind of like pull up by the coast and open the car and like look out on the ocean and go to sleep, take a nap, with the back thing open.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a convertible. You can't like take a nap in a convertible. But
so I have seen some conversions for minivans.
What's that?
So I have seen some conversions, like I guess they turn them into like campers.
No, I don't. I'm not going camping. I'm not a fucking degenerate like that. But no, I'm saying I just need the space in the back if I'm hauling around things. Like you fold everything down, you take out the seats, and you get a lot of space.
Yeah. That makes sense. So
that's what I would do. I mean, but and you know what, so I would do basically. I would be down to 2 cars, that and and the Bentley if I want to pick up hookers. Russian hookers from Kazakhstan.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan, but at the same time, though, I think if you're hauling stuff around town, you could probably just rent like a cargo van or something.
Yeah, I don't like renting because then might get germs from the common people, from the peasants. Did you ever see that movie? What is that movie? Get Shorty. Did you ever see that movie with John Travolta? Great movie. Get Shorty.
Yeah.
He drives.
Yeah, and then there was there's a sequel to that too.
Yeah, but the thing is, the minivan, that was the big thing. He was driving them. He shows up in L.A. and he's like a mob guy. Everybody thinks, oh, he's gonna rent like I don't know whatever. He rents a minivan. And the minivan becomes like the status car in L.A. as a result.
I think wasn't he driving like a Prius or something like that in the sequel?
I didn't see. I probably yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. But the Prius is a garbage car. That's fucking. I'm not into this electric stuff. I don't trust it.
I agree.
I think the electric stuff is it's part of a communist conspiracy, far left conspiracy, you know, for whatever.
Okay.
All right, Baron, listen, I know you're in a hurry.
Yeah,
I
we'll
know
push
you're
this
too
up.
polite. I know you're too polite to just, you know, say fuck off or whatever. But anyway, listen, thank you for the opinion on the Archie luxury collection. So bottom line, you're saying it's a trash collection, right? Bottom line is you're saying Archie luxury is garbage. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying it's not a collection. It's just a bunch of watches that someone that like when someone has like a bunch of money and they put it into something.
Worse. It's even worse. Than it's not even a collection. It's a bunch of accumulation of just debris.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll leave it at that.
You got it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Turtle. Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I can't believe we didn't get a single super chat here. We got a bunch of lowlifes and bums. We got guys like Mike Lewis. Got Mike Lewis. He's got 200 grand in watches, and he doesn't even leave us a super chat. Then we got this mooch bum Joe Fargo with his shitter, asking about shitters. We got Alan Bickel, who doesn't understand the value of a minivan. Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, all right, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your nasty, vicious comments below. We'll see you in the next one.